Hi everybody, my name is Mary and on this channel I watch movies and series that I've never seen before. Today I will be watching 12 Angry Men. With Seal, this is his tale. Let's go! So, we're gonna watch a courtroom movie. This is a little bit, I'm a little bit nervous, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people want me to react to this one because they know that I work in law. And although I can definitely see the appeal in watching someone who is specialized in a certain topic reacting to a certain topic, I also want to say that criminal law is not my specialty at all. And I also don't work in the American system. I work in the Belgium system, which might be a lot different in a lot of aspects. So I just want to say that I don't know much about it. I do know that it's about a criminal case with a jury system. We have that as well. And then I know terms about like first degree murder or second degree, what it is to be premeditated, what the beyond reasonable doubt means. Like I know a few bits and bobs here and there, but other than that, you're gonna be watching someone who specialized in a different type of law. I feel like it's so fitting and so ironic to be like giving a disclaimer in a legal movie as a legal person, but hey, that's what we do. So here you get that. Other than that, I want to say that I'm just really excited for this one. It's a genre that I would love to watch in my private time as well. So the fact that I haven't seen it is a huge discovery for me. And I'm loving that I can do this. If you have different courtroom movies, recommendations, or like about trials that I can follow that you want me to react to, let me know. I have seen a bunch, but there might still be out there that I haven't seen. Like this one apparently is a gem. So I'm just really excited to watch this one and I'm glad you're watching it with me. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment with the other courtroom movies that you want me to react to or trials or anything in that genre, just true crime as well. I just love reacting to that. And as always, if you want to see the full reaction, I post that on Patreon, full watch-along style. Let's get into this one. Oh my god, I've been in one courtroom in the USA on a trip at law school. It really looks like this one. And now I'm thinking like, was I here? Is this in New York? I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Or they build them similarly, I don't know. Oh, is it New York? Oh.
One man is dead. Another man's life is at stake. If there's a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused...
Damn, reasonable doubt is such a tricky... Although it should be really clear. Or you think they did it, or you're like, I cannot be sure, and then it's no, but...
The jury will now retire.
He looks really young. Oh my god. No way. Oh my god, he's so young. This is such an interesting moment, right? Because you know that a few of them already have their opinion and will not be able... not want to change that at all, and then some are still like hesitant and it needs to be anonymous, so the pressure on that is... oh,
this is going to be the hottest day of the year.
why are we locking the door?
I never knew they locked the door. Sure they locked the door. What'd you think?
Never heard of that either. I don't know if that's still a thing.
I sat on many juries. If you ask me, I'd slap those tough kids down before they start any trouble. Now let's get started, huh?
So here we have someone whose opinion seems to be clear.
I tell you, we were lucky to get a murder case. I figured that's for an assault or burglary.
Well, I know that in America it's more of a general system. To have a jury system in Belgium, it's only like in very unique criminal cases. So it's not like you will always be on the jury, like only a few people will ever have to.
Yeah, we can all get out of here pretty quick, huh?
Say, we'd like to get started. Gentlemen at the window, we'd like to get started.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pretty tempted.
Complete unawareness for the situation.
We can, well, discuss it first and then vote on it. And if we vote the accused guilty, we've got to send him to the chair. Just remember that this has to be 12-0 either way. All those voting guilty, please raise your hands.
Oh, I thought it was like in secret voting. Oh, what?
Okay, that's 11 guilty. Those voting not guilty? It's 1. 11 guilty, 1 not guilty.
You really think he's innocent?
Or not beyond a reasonable doubt?
The kid's a dangerous killer. You could see it.
He's 18 years old.
Oh my god, he's so young.
He stabbed his own father 4 inches into the chest.
It's not easy to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Well, now, who says it's easy?
Well, they gave a little bit of the impression, don't they?
We're talking about somebody's life here. Let's take an hour. Ball game doesn't start till 8 o'clock. This kid's been kicked around all of his life. You know, born in a slum, mother dead since he was 9. It's not a very happy beginning, because he's been hit on the head by somebody once a day, every day.
You just didn't get any chances, right?
We heard the facts, didn't we? I mean, they're born liars.
Only an ignorant man can believe that.
Breakfast with a built-in bounce?
Say, do you mind?
Oh, I'm sorry.
How are they also childish about this? Like, okay that they have their opinion, that's fine, but like, can you at least be present for a little bit?
I just think he's guilty. Nobody proved otherwise.
Nobody has to prove otherwise. The burden of proof's on the prosecution.
My god.
Well, I just think he's guilty. I mean, somebody saw him do it.
There's a witness.
Later, I heard a body hit the floor. Up, saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. The police, they came in, found the old man with a knife in his chest. These are facts. You can't refute facts. The kid is guilty.
Like, it needs to be premeditated, right? So, like, planned before.
You don't believe the boy's story. How come you believe the woman's? She's one of them, too, isn't she?
You're a pretty smart fella, aren't you?
Ooh la la.
And they heard the father hit the boy twice. Finally,
Oh.
I can't see 2 slaps in the face provoking him into committing murder.
Everyone has a breaking point.
It's really awkward if somebody saw it happening. So the question is she lying, or did she make a mistake, or is it actually the truth? And then it's, yeah.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father beat him up regularly. He used his fists.
It's these kids, the way they are nowadays. When I was a kid, I used to call my father Sir.
It's so funny to see a movie in the 50s and them saying like, oh, kids these days. Which is like literally when my parents were kids and they would probably say, oh, kids these days.
When he was 9 years old, he ran away from a fight. Well, I made a man out of him. I haven't seen him for 2 years.
Interesting to gonna see the backgrounds of these people and how they decide on others.
I've lived in a slum all my life.
Wait a minute.
Please, I played in backyards that were filled with garbage.
Let's not be so sensitive. This sensitive.
Yeah, everyone except you who turned out great, but everyone else is trash. Oh, someone else turned great? You were great, but everyone else is trash. It's funny how it's a lot about the social background and not about what actually happened that day, right? How you judge someone.
I only know as much as you do. According to testimony, the boy looks guilty. Maybe he is. Maybe it's also possible for a lawyer to be just plain stupid, isn't it? I mean, it's possible.
Yes, it's possible.
I'd want my lawyer to tear the prosecution witnesses to shreds, or at least try to.
What are you trying to say? Those people sat on the stand under oath.
They're only people. People make mistakes. Could they be wrong?
It's also super interesting looking at this from our perspective because we have so many more evidence options. There's so many more science about eyewitnesses, lying under oath, admitting guilt when you're not guilty. All of that is like fairly new compared to in the 50s.
He claims that he went to a movie at about 11:30, returning home at 3:10 to find his father dead and himself arrested. No one at the theater identified him. He couldn't even remember the names of the pictures he saw.
I really want to believe that it's not guilty, but of course it looks really bad.
It's a very unusual knife. I've never seen one like it.
I'm just saying a coincidence is possible.
And I say it's not possible.
Wow! How did he walk in a corner with a knife like this?
I bought that in a little pawn shop just 2 blocks from the boy's house.
Now, supposing you tell me what it proves.
You mean you're asking us to believe that somebody else did the stabbing with exactly the same kind of knife?
It's possible.
You know, it's interesting that he'd find a knife exactly like the one the boy bought.
What's interesting about it?
The
Interesting.
thing is also like, you can only say that he's guilty if you're 100% sure. If there's a reasonable doubt, even if you think that he did it, but it's a reasonable doubt, you cannot find him guilty. So the more and more questions that are raised...
Somebody saw the kid stab his father. What more do we need?
Well, what about it?
You're the only one.
The pressure to not just be like, okay...
I want you 11 men to vote by secret written ballot. There are 11 votes for guilty. Taking a guilty verdict to the judge right now. But if anyone votes not guilty, stay here and talk it out.
That's so good, because at least if someone is hesitant, they don't have the pressure of the group. I wonder if it's gonna be one of those movies that in the end you actually don't even know.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
There's gonna be one. There is definitely gonna be one.
Not guilty.
Boy, how do you like that?
Oh, another chap flips his wings.
All right. Who was it?
Why are they so angry about this? Oh yeah, the movie's called 12 Angry Men. Okay, Mary.
But we're trying to put a guilty man in the chair where he belongs.
We're trying to decide if someone is guilty. We're not trying to put him in the chair. We're trying to figure out the truth.
If you don't mind. Do we have to listen to this?
Can this guy... Can I all just sit down for 1 minute?
The boy in trial is probably guilty, but I want to hear more.
I like that opinion. You can still convict him, but just talk about it.
I made 27 grand last year selling marmalade. That's not bad. I mean, you know, considering marmalade.
Considering inflation, that's actually really good, isn't it?
Well, I don't know you, but I'm betting you've never been wronger in your life. If you're wasting your time, you ought to wrap it up.
Supposing you were the one that was on trial.
Exactly! Oh my god.
Supposing you talk us all out of this and kid really did knife his father, huh?
It's always an interesting question. Would you rather have one guilty person on the street or one innocent person for the rest of their lives in jail? Because you could be that innocent person for the rest of your life in jail.
There's another apartment. It's not that easy to identify a voice, particularly a shouting voice.
What if there was someone else in the room as well that bought the same knife for emotional reasons as the other one?
How long it would take, Anel?
Oh, I would be so pissed off. Oh my god.
This isn't a game.
How are they not embarrassed with their own behavior? They're acting like they're 8 years old and they have no concentration at all.
I just finished painting an apartment that overlooked an L line. I was there for 3 days.
What was it like?
What do you mean?
Noisy?
Oh, brother.
Ah, so how could one guy hear it while she saw it if there's noise?
The old man in the apartment downstairs. He says he heard the boy say, "I'm gonna kill you." The woman across the street swore positively she looked out of the window and saw the killing through the last 2 cars of a passing elevated train, right? It's not possible he could have heard it.
That's idiotic. Of course he heard
Do you think he could have heard it? He said
Oh, what are you people talking
Well, it
about?
stands to reason he couldn't have heard.
It's a shame because indeed this should be brought up in the defense. Like a defense lawyer should have brought this up.
Why do you think the old man might lie?
He was a very old man in a torn jacket. He was dragging his left leg and trying to hide it. To be quoted just once, very important to him.
When what are you trying to do? Tell us you lied just so we could be important once?
I said, what do you know about it?
Oh.
this. Do you really think the boy'd shout out a thing like that so the whole neighborhood could hear him?
He's a common ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
Oh my god!
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
He cannot be right because I'm a racist. It's interesting because probably in a setting with 12 people, the chances of someone being racist or someone being more nuanced, somebody else being more stubborn, somebody else being a little bit verbally aggressive, somebody like there's so many different people that in a selection of 12, it's not unrealistic to have a lot of tension.
If he really had killed his father, why would he come back home 3 hours later?
Came home to get his knife.
I don't see anything funny about it.
Yeah, it's not really appropriate.
You can assume the boy ran out in a state of panic.
This then depends on your definition of panic. There were no fingerprints left on the knife.
I'll bet he figured that nobody had seen him running out and that the body wouldn't be discovered till the next day.
This is my whole point. She screamed. The boy certainly must have heard the scream. I just don't think that he would have gone back.
Yeah, if the one guy can not hear the scream, why would he be able to hear the scream?
I think there's enough doubt that we can wonder whether he was there at all during the time the killing took place.
Did or didn't the old man see the kid running out of the house at 12:10?
He says he did.
Says he did. Boy, how do you like that? details. You're forgetting the important stuff. I mean, all of a sudden, everybody here. I'm talking here.
Oh my god.
I vote not guilty.
Oh. What? What are you talking about? I mean, we're all going crazy in here.
The thing is that they would better call it guilty or there's a reasonable doubt.
This is getting to be a joke.
The vote is 8-4, favor of guilty.
Because I would also not immediately think that he's not guilty at this point, but I am really wondering.
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
Oh, he's limping.
He said he ran, at least I think he did.
He was an old man. Half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Oh my god, you got... Oh.
I don't see what you're going to prove here. The man said he saw the boy running out.
Literally taking him as one of the main witnesses and shouting that how he cannot know anything.
You make it sound like a long walk.
For an old man who had a stroke, it is a long walk.
What do you mean you want to try it? Why didn't his lawyer bring it up of its own force?
Because his lawyer sucked.
Look, this is absolutely insane. What are you wasting everybody's time in here for?
Door, stop.
41 seconds.
Here's what I think happened. You heard somebody racing down the stairs and assumed it was the boy.
I think that's possible.
Assume? What's the matter with you guys? Guilty. He's got to burn. You're letting him slip through our fingers.
Jesus.
Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
Perhaps you'd like to pull the switch.
For this kid, you bet I would.
You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts.
Kill him, I'll kill him.
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Oh my god! They say that the best way to get the reasonable doubt defense is to give an other possible thing that happened. So that's what they're doing right now, right? What could have happened otherwise? Not just like, did this, is his story correct, but also like, could there be another story? And if there is an other story possible, then you have your answer. But it's still really difficult though.
I beg pardon. What are you so polite about?
For the same reason you're not. It's the way I was brought up. We have nothing to gain or lose by our verdict.
Maybe we should take another vote.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
The vote is now 6-6.
Some of you people in here must be out of your minds. A kid like that.
Yeah, his only proof seems to be like, oh, he's a slum boy, so he must have done it.
I'd like to be a few years younger. That man gets on my...
Oh no.
And you're like everybody else. You think too much, you get mixed up.
Loudmouth.
Loudmouth. That's a nice way to deal with your anger. Just wait until they walk away and just say, loudmouth. Damn, this movie is so good. I literally forgot that it was a movie. The dialogue is just... It's so frustrating because there's so many more questions that it's like...
You're just trying to bait me.
He did an excellent job.
Yeah, Jesus, then don't be so baited. I don't like that guy. Like, I know it's perfectly fine if people think he's guilty. Like, you can have your opinion, that's why they're there. But just to be like, he's guilty no matter what, no matter what. And like, based on...
After the boy claimed he'd been at the movies during the hours that the killing took place, couldn't remember the names of the movies or the stars who appeared in them. After an upsetting experience such as being slapped in the face by your father...
Didn't he also just find his dead father on the floor?
Well, the body of his father was lying on the floor
in
the bedroom. You think you could remember details under those circumstances?
My wife and I went to the movies.
What did you see?
The Scarlet Circle.
What was the second feature?
Remarkable Mrs. Bainbridge.
I saw that. It's called The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge.
And you weren't under an emotional stress, were you?
Sweat drop.
You can talk till your tongue is dragging on the floor. The boy is guilty, period.
I wouldn't know how somebody would respond under that emotional stress, but I can imagine that if you've never been in that emotional stress, it's impossible to know like whether or not somebody would do it like that. Hi, Cat.
Well, this is the way I'd stab a man who was taller than I was.
Down and in, I guess there's no argument.
Well, hold on a minute, will you? Here's how. Underhanded. Anyone who's ever used a switch knife wouldn't handle it any other way.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I changed my vote to not guilty.
You what?
But I also feel like the more questions that there are, the more there's doubt. So one question might not be like enough, but like if you have 10 questions that you can't really answer that don't add up. I wish there was another possibility proposed, like who could have done it or came in or...
Who tells you that you have the right to play like this with a man's life? If you want to vote not guilty, then do it because you are convinced the man is not guilty and not because you've had enough. Guilty or not guilty?
I told you, not guilty.
Why?
I don't think he's guilty.
Want another vote?
I'm really curious to see if they're ever gonna convince Mr. I'd never say I'd kill someone. Oh! Ooh!
9.
Ooh!
All those voting guilty? 1, 2, 3.
The sweat guy is not convinced after his own...
Look, you know how these people lie? It's born in them. I mean, what the heck? I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. And let me tell you, they don't need any real big reason to kill someone either.
Oh my god.
Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us.
Human life doesn't mean shit to you because you would put the cat in the fucking chair.
This kid is a liar. I know it. I know all about them. What's happening in here? I'm speaking my piece and you...
People are sick of your shit.
These people are dangerous.
This is so strong.
Why?
I have goosebumps.
Listen.
Sit down and don't open your mouth again.
Even the guy who's in his team and stays sitting down is like, you need to stop now. It's really strong that everyone just let him go without like going into it and start bickering with him, and it's just like, this is, I don't even respond to this.
Wherever you run into it, prejudice always obscures the truth. 9 of us now seem to feel that the defendant is innocent, but we have a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
System, no jury can declare a man guilty unless it's sure. We 9 can't understand how you 3 are still so sure.
The evidence given by the woman across the street who actually saw...
Yeah, that's a strong one. Although now eyewitnesses and all of that, but still like...
That she got a good look at the boy in the act of stabbing his father.
So the window should be low enough so she can see.
You made a gesture that reminded me of something. Why were you rubbing your nose like that? Your eyeglasses made those 2 deep impressions on the sides of your nose. That must be annoying. It is very annoying.
Is the lady normally wearing glasses?
The woman who testified that she saw the killing had those same marks.
Oh my god, she couldn't have seen it from her bed. Oh my lord! Unless it's like reading glasses for close by.
This woman was about 45 years old.
So it's probably for far.
How do you know whether she wore glasses? Just because she was rubbing her nose?
Now, she had those marks. I saw them.
You ever see a woman who had to wear glasses and didn't want to because she thinks they spoil her looks?
Yes. Don't call us out.
Do you wear glasses when you go to bed?
No, no one wears eyeglasses to bed.
Maybe she honestly thought she saw the boy kill his father. I say she only saw a blur.
They all just assume it's the kid because the kid lives there.
Don't you think the woman might have made a mistake?
No.
It's not possible.
You think he's guilty?
I think he's guilty.
11-1.
I'm convinced. Not guilty. I have a reasonable doubt now.
11-1.
Well, what about all the other evidence? What about all that stuff?
You said we could throw out all the other evidence.
I love how he's so like lawyers in the corner. Blah, 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 blah. And then like, oh, but this was your argument.
I don't care whether I'm alone or not. It's my right.
That's true. Damn, this is one of the best movies I've seen, I swear to God.
What do you want? I say he's guilty.
I want to hear your argument.
Yeah. Why?
We're not convinced. We have as much time as it takes.
It's always interesting if you ask someone a question and then you try to make it concrete. Like, give us examples. Be concrete, be concrete, be concrete. Not just say general things. And then people like...
Sure, you can take all the time, hobble around the room, but you can't prove it.
You can't prove it either. And that's the point.
I'm telling you, I've got all the facts here. Well, that's it. That's the whole case.
Rotten kids, you work your life out.
That's sad. That's sad.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
We're ready now.
I really hope we will know, but I think they're not gonna tell us. Aww. Oh, that's nice. Just about the movie. Great movie, right? The fact that we can be sucked into a conversation like this, I feel like it just flew by. This could have been 3 times longer for me and I still would have been like... But like the great switch between them showing their more personal sides and their backgrounds versus little by little going over the case. Also just really strong acting. Every character really fit. I think the character that they were trying to portray, it was so good. Like, they all fit 100%. And then about the case, I'm just in general not a super fan of the jury system because of this emotional reason. Because a lot of it is evidence. But of course, like, it's so hard if you compare it to then versus now. And I would not 100% say the kid is innocent. But I really feel like there's a reasonable doubt. Did they see him? The 2 witnesses? I do agree that being questioned under pressure, you might not remember. I cannot imagine ever coming home and finding one of your parents murdered on the floor and then somebody asking what movie you'd seen. Although it's super important to be right at that point. You're just in shock. He's also still very young. Like, I know that adults, 18 and stuff, but still, like, an 18-year-old is way more impressionable than I would think if you're a bit older. Damn. It's interesting, like, what argument is the one that, like... Is there one argument that completely makes you change your mind? Or is it just the fact that there's way too many questions? And I think that that's, for me, that's the case. I'm not like, oh, this one or this one. Although I feel like the fact that she wears glasses and should have seen him from the bed. But then I'm like, what if they'd ask her again and she would be like, ah, but I stepped out of the... So I actually was like looking and... I don't know, but with glasses, the moment I go to the restroom at night, I take my glasses immediately. So it could be that she was like taking them and then looking outside. So it's like, was there nobody else that could have done it? Did they not look at anybody else? Anyway, I love this movie. I hope you like the reaction as well. I think it invokes very strong emotions from the viewer of like what justice is and what justice is supposed to be like. Yeah. I wish there were 20 movies like this. I absolutely loved it. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you think. Always please be respectful because of course movies like this are more tense and do invoke more reactions, and some people might feel like one person in the room and somebody else might feel like the other person in the room. So it could be an interesting debate. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope that you liked this reaction. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And let me know other maybe legal movies that you want me to react to. And if you want to see the full reaction, you can do that over on Patreon. There I'll post a full watch-along style reaction. I wish you a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!